friends! Welcome to my channel. If you've been following my videos, you probably already know that my parents and I recently got back from a trip to Walt Disney World. This trip was a little different than every trip we've taken in the past. Usually when we go, we stay on property. If you stay on property, you get easy transportation through Disney's Magical Express from the airport, and then you get bus transportation to the parks from the hotel. You get extra magic hours, which means you get into specific parks early on some days, or you get to stay later on other days, and you get access to the Disney dining plan. But this time, we booked our trip a little too late, and all the on-property resorts available were way out of our price range. The possibility of our trip was in jeopardy. We were forced with either staying off-property and renting a car, or not going at all. Enter the internet. I did some quick Googling and discovered the Wyndham. Located right next to Disney Springs, the Wyndham provides its guests with a complimentary shuttle service to the parks. We were worried that the shuttle would be inconsistent and we would have a lot of problems with it, but it turned out that staying at the Wyndham wasn't too different from staying at an on-property hotel. Here's what happened. So we decided to stay at the Wyndham Garden since the Wyndham was completely booked. It's the same hotel if you were like me and found their website to be really confusing. Basically, the Wyndham is the big tower in the middle that has inside facing rooms, and the Wyndham Garden is the parts on the outside that have outside doors. But it's the same building. So since there was no Magical Express to get us from the airport to the hotel, we had to come up with an alternative option. We ended up taking an Uber, which we'd never done before, but it was super simple and efficient, and we even got to stop by the grocery store and pick up some Mountain Dew and water. Pulling up to the hotel, it looks like just your average, nice hotel. But as soon as we walked in, the staff was like amazingly friendly, like way more than Art of Animation or All-Star Resorts, which are the only two that I really remember clearly. So our rooms were only a short walk from the elevator. If you recall from my tips, stories, advice, whatever I called it, video, I mentioned how long the walk was at the Art of Animation from the main building to our hotel room. All-Star Sports is pretty sprawled out too, and I think pretty much any Disney on-property resort. Not the Wyndham. It was a very short walk from the elevator to our room, and that was kind of a blessing every morning to just walk out of your room, walk down the hall, there's the elevator, go up, you're in the lobby. No, it's not Disney themed, but it is affiliated with Disney somehow. So there is a Disney store in the lobby. And best of all of the employees wear pin trading lanyards. So you can trade with them just like you would at a Disney hotel or at the parks. They even bring out a giant pin board. I don't remember the times or the days, but if you ask them, I'm sure they will tell you. And if you're a Mickey Waffle addict like me, rest assured that you can get your fix here at the Lakeview restaurant, which is on the mezzanine level. You have to go up a little staircase, and then it's right there. You have to pay, it's like 20 bucks to get access to the entire buffet, but they have Mickey waffles and like a bunch of other really good stuff. They even do a character breakfast on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, where you can meet Pluto and Goofy if you want. Or if you're not a big eater and you don't want to splurge on the buffet every day, you can go to Sundial 24/7 and grab some cereal or oatmeal or fruit or whatever, and you can get a coffee or tea from Joffrey's, which is right next to it, and be on your way. The one con that we discovered while we were staying there is that the walls in the hotel rooms were paper thin. The first night that we were there, we heard our next door neighbor's TV on until like some obscene hour in the morning. But the rest of the trip, we were so exhausted that it didn't even matter because we just fell right asleep. So that's the thing. One of the best things about the Wyndham is that it's literally a 5-minute walk to Disney Springs. I'll get back to that in a minute. One of the things that we were most worried about with staying off property was transportation. Was the shuttle gonna be efficient? Would we wish that we had rented a car instead? And it turned out that transportation actually worked really well. Catching the bus to to the parks was super easy. The bus stop was right outside the lobby. We just walked outside with our tea and coffee and waited for the bus. Buses come every half an hour, and there's 2 different buses, and they go to different places every day apparently. So like one day it'll go to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and then the next day it'll go to Magic Kingdom and Epcot. I don't know. We just hopped on the bus that said the park that we were going to, and it took us there. The Wyndham is the second out of 3 stops, so there will be people on the bus when you get on. There will be 1 more stop before you go to the parks. The bus can get pretty crowded because of the 3 stops, just like if you were staying at an on-property resort, but we only had to stand like once or twice, so that was a plus. The buses drop off at the parks pretty close to where on-property buses drop off. It's a little bit more of a walk. So if you've stayed on property before, it should be pretty easy to find your bus stop. The bus driver will tell you when you get off what number to look for. And if you forget the number, you can look at the little bus finding chart thing, and you just look for Disney Springs Resort Area hotels and follow that. The one exception is Magic Kingdom. If you stay on property, the Magic Kingdom bus will take you to the Magic Kingdom bus stop area. If you stay at a Disney Springs Resort Area hotel, you will get dropped off at the Transportation and Ticketing Center, and then you'll have to catch a ferry boat or a monorail from there. I don't know why they do that. It's not that much extra time. It's only like 15 minutes. However, on your way back, it's a little bit more time because everybody's leaving at the same time, especially if you wait until after fireworks or after the projection show. We never had a problem catching the bus to the parks. It was always pretty empty. It always came at a good time, but catching the bus back to the hotel, sometimes we had to wait a really long time, and when the bus finally came, it was full. So that kind of sucked. But here's the cool part. If you don't feel like waiting that long for the bus, or if you're coming back from the Magic Kingdom and don't want to wait in a 20-minute long line for the monorail or ferry boat, you can get a bus to Disney Springs, and the walk from Disney Springs to the Wyndham is literally 15 minutes. It drops you off, by Sephora. If you stayed on property and gone to Disney Springs before, it's right there. You walk through there, and then the bridge to the Wyndham is right by Earl of Sandwich. So you just walk that 15 minutes, and then you're like literally right there. So instead of sitting around and waiting, you're like walking and moving, and it's pretty cool. The Disney Springs bus always seems to be easier to catch than resort buses. But the Disney Springs bus only runs, I think it's like 4 p.m. and later from the parks to Disney Springs, and there is no bus from Disney Springs to the parks, so of course you do have to take the one from your hotel. If you're staying at a different hotel, it's not the Wyndham. I mean, they're all pretty close to each other. I'm sure you could still walk. It might be a little bit longer than 15 minutes, but it's still pretty doable, I think. But if you're not someone who's cool with walking a lot, or you're really tired from the parks, maybe you do want to wait for, the monorail or the ferry boat and then wait for a bus. We just felt like it was a lot of waiting, and we thought it was really cool that you have that shortcut that you can take. As far as the other perks of staying on property go, we never really used extra magic hours anyways, because we have a hard enough time waking up in the morning, and then you don't really want to stay that late in the parks because you're gonna be tired. So that didn't even really matter that we didn't have extra magic hours. I talked a little bit about the Disney dining plan in my tips, advice, whatever I called it video about the Disney dining plan. I don't like it, and so it was actually really freeing to not have to deal with it this time. I know that a lot of people really like it. I don't. It was really nice this time to not have to worry about having a certain number of table service versus quick service meals. Some days we split 1 or 2 dishes between all 3 of us if we weren't as hungry, and we didn't have to worry about leftover credits. We even got to try more snacks because we weren't stuffed from the absurd amount of food they force you to eat on the DDP. So I don't know how the costs add up. Maybe we spent more. I kind of doubt it, but it's possible. But I would 10 out of 10 recommend this worry-free experience to absolutely everyone.
My cat messed up my tripod. Oh, I'll say hello. Say, I like messing with tripods. She says, I like messing with tripods.
In conclusion, the transportation was almost exactly the same as an on-property resort, with a sneaky shortcut for the impatient. The quality of service was probably better. Everyone was just super friendly, super accommodating. It was Disney enough for this Disney file. And not having the DDP caused more relaxation than anxiety. Though the rooms themselves weren't phenomenal, I would compare them in quality and size to All-Star, Sports, or Art of Animation, both of which we've stayed at in the past, or probably any other value resort. So if you're looking to stay off property, somewhere that you don't have to rent a car, it's easily accessible, and you can save a little bit of money, I would totally recommend Wyndham, the Wyndham Garden, or any Disney Springs Resort Area Hotel. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the subscribe if you want to see more of our Disney adventures, which hopefully there will be a lot more coming next year. Check out some of my other videos if you like this one, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye!